I don't know who, somebody need to hear this. Y'all don't speak Hebrew, that's Yiddish. How the fuck you try to label us anti-Semitic? We the Israelites, blacks and native Hispanics. The Germans getting locked up for the Holocaust. Meanwhile, black people still up in the Holocaust. 100 million of us died in the transatlantic. 6 million died, y'all want the world to never forget it. You can never be a Jew, you a Ashkenaz. This ain't a star dum-dum, a gun die or die. Yeah, Yeezy told the truth and got ostracized. Not one person in the Bible had on a yarmulke. We were slaves in America like we was in Egypt. Y'all don't even fit the curses in the Torah neither. Y'all was blind to the truth, I had to make it clear. How Jerusalem, your land, your people came from Europe. That was 1947, your menorah got 9 sticks, it's really only 7. Yeah, it's us against the world, Armageddon. This what happened when you inherit lies from your ancestors. Y'all the synagogue of Satan with them black hats. Your whole nation sitting ducks, Aflacs. Bunch of thieves and culture vultures, ain't nothing kosher. To tell the truth, you vagabonds don't have a culture. Macedonia, Alexander and Philip, you a convert, so tell me, how the fuck is you Israel? That don't make you the people just cause you litter. Why my people can't hate your people like y'all hate Hitler? All the prophets was black and was called nigga. Y'all don't even fit the description that's in the scriptures. Abraham all the way down to Jacob, we the real Jews. Y'all don't study Christ, y'all follow the Talmud. Keep it real, yeah, let's keep it real. Cold hard truth, it give you chills. Say y'all Jewish cause y'all ain't really them. About to do them like Hammond, it's the Feast of Purim. U.P.K undefeated, this an easy win. We was born fighting, y'all the evil twin. Jacob took hold of his heel, then out came his little red bastard, they kosher deals. It's only 12 tribes, y'all trying to make it 13. Esau despised his birthright, the Lord cursed him. He ain't the devil, who is? I'm still searching. Ask your rabbi, why he get them babies herpes? I don't know what's worse, that or you claiming that you a Maccabee. I'm about to cancel, everybody try to cancel ye. I ain't afraid to speak, this what I do. They riding to the core, I'm just judging them by their fruit. Cause they ain't suffering curses. If I was carnal, I promise I'd punch you in person. I know this an uncomfortable subject. They making millions off our culture and black people suffering from it. Yeah, they don't believe in Christ, they the Antichrist. Make a living off of niggas, they a parasite. I ain't afraid to tell the truth, niggas terrified. I'm about to go DEFCON 4, I ain't satisfied.
That is proof, that is absolute proof that they know we are the real Jews. That's absolute proof. Now you got the records. Go find me a white Jew on any archaeology in Egypt anywhere. You will never find a piece of archaeology with white people as slaves in Egypt. So don't tell me that they were slaves and it's their identity, and they know it. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not. The Lord knows the blasphemy of you so-called white people that say you are Jews and you are not Jews. You are not the people of the law. You are not God's chosen people. God's chosen people are living in the ghettos of America. God's chosen people are in poverty and depression in the streets of America. God's chosen people are walking around in America with no identity. That's where God's chosen people are.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it kosher. Cause if they make the wrong move it kosher. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo sabe. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, chemo sabe. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army. Going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you cut up. There's nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Ooh, Kimo Sabe got this bitch off the hand. Got the juice, got the drip, bout to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, this is salt. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move it me, they like, ooh, chemo sabe. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. I'm on my way. Coming up on my divorce.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside where soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fuckers scared some. Get the banging on this beat till my fucking head numb. Black Glock, red drum, black and yellow Air Ones. Homie, you ain't got a vest. I suggest you wear one.
Told these niggas we was going up. They was doing a lot of talking. Now these niggas ain't saying shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit. Lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third. Lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped it authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Noah's Ark, you know I'm with animals when we flowin' by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with Cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoke until we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they boss shit. These niggas better move and coach shit. Cause if they make the wrong move, it cost shit. You see me, they like, ooh, chemo sabe. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on my divorce.
Hey, Shalom Israel, give me, I will play 2 more tracks, then we'll be, you understand, live with you, understand? We're already live, so give me 2 more tracks, and after that, you understand, we'll start the class, all right, Israel? Shalom to everybody, you understand? I'll be back in a few, all right? Let's get it.
West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he abdominal. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. Guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of One West rising to prominent. Cause I be One West to the death till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. I be One West to the death till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupons for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. The showstopper, been the proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm going them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modify the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had them niggas spin like a tire, but down the D, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to ignite, I'm winning, coming through with the title.
follow doctrine of man. They taught us they hate a reflection.
This is the Jews of
I said my
black.
niggas is chosen. I only follow the king. I don't vote, but ensure my election. They say the Jews is black.
Yeah.
I say the natives is chosen.
Yeah.
I say Hispanics is chosen.
Right.
All of my niggas are chosen.
Right.
They say the Jews are black.
Yeah.
And I say the natives are chosen.
Yeah.
I say Hispanics are chosen.
Right.
All of my niggas is chosen.
Right.
Don't be hot and cold and don't just dip your toe in. All of them bars above your head. I know it feel like it's sewing. They say the Jews is black.
Yeah.
I say the natives is chosen.
Yeah.
I say Hispanics is chosen.
Right.
All of my niggas is chosen.
This is the Jews of black. I see the nigga that's chosen. I see the Latinos are chosen. I see the native is chosen. I hear stories been stolen. Time to come back together. Cause the most high been calling. Israel in hell. Eat them in heaven and ballin'. Christ got his time installing. Giving us time to repent. Before we're stuck with the fallen. U.P.K not lukewarm. Playing poker we all in. Cross the line we brawling. Babylon is falling. Come on and burn my people. Do not partake in the sins. World War III just popped off. Yeah, I was shy for the win. Yeah, I was shy the king. Yeah, I was shy the man of the Lord. The angels on chariots, we go on the war. Chopping their head, and number one whore.
They say the Jews is black. I say the natives is chosen. I say Hispanics is chosen. All of my niggas are chosen. They say the Jews are black. And I say the natives are chosen. I say Hispanics are chosen. All of my niggas is chosen. Don't be hot and cold and don't just dip your toe in. All of them bars above your head. I know it feel like it's sewing. They say the Jews is black. I say the natives are chosen. I say Hispanics are chosen. All of my niggas is chosen. If they're in the Catholic Church, somebody pray for the children. Turn up the bass and level the treble. You know that we shaking the building.
Yeah. You already know what it is, man. You understand? This was, you understand, my brother, you understand? Also 1,000 Zabaja, you understand? And also 500, you understand, Barry Kelly, you understand, putting it down, you understand, in Canada. But you understand? Let's get it tonight. And I want to say shalom to every so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Indian. Shalom to all my brothers. I say shalom, Yahbashim Yoshabakatam. To all the sisters, I say shalom, Yahshamar Atabashim Yoshai. I'm preaching also 1,000 out of y'all with the I.S.U.P.K, which is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We started on 1 West, 125th Street, all of New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And for those that don't know, for those, you understand, that's new to this, right? What do we do in the I.S.U.P.K? You understand? Just like the name says, we are the school of, you understand, the Israelite school. We teach so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Indian. They are the 12 tribes of Israel. We teach them exactly, you understand, they are the same people that were in slavery back in Egypt, back in Babylon, back in Assyria, back in, you understand, being the captive of the Roman and the Greeks, you understand? And now today, we are the same slave, you understand? Today in America, South America, all over the world. And then in every nation, we are exactly those people, you understand? Those same people that when you read the Bible, when you read this Bible and you think this Bible is for everybody, nah, the Bible is only for you and your, you understand, you and your family, you and your bloodline, the Israelite, you understand, that of the world, the Israelite of the Bible. That's who you are. That's what we teach. And not only that, we teach them how to come back to God. Like we have many churches. You understand? We have churches everywhere, especially in Canada and the United States. You understand? Almost every street you will see a church. You understand? You see a church pop up, you understand, out of nowhere. Meanwhile, these churches are not teaching exactly the truth of the Bible. These churches are not teaching how to get one, how to be one with God, how to follow God, how to love God. So we do that in the I.S.U.P.K, you understand? And everything that you don't understand about the Bible, we teach exactly that in the Bible, right? All right, that being said, we have with us, we have you today, you understand, I.S.U.P.K Toronto, you understand? Run by Officer 1,000 Zabaja. Shalom, priest, Yahbashim Yoshabakatam. What's going on?
Hey, Shalom, Yahbashim Yoshabakatam to all the brothers, Yahshamar Latham Bashim Yashai to all the sisters. I'm Tawab, just chilling.
Most sign Christ. Also, Zabaja is you understand? Understand the giant in this truth, you understand, Toronto. You understand, if you're in the Toronto region, Ottawa, you understand, up north, well, contact Officer Zabaja, you understand, because he got it down, you understand, he's holding it down in Toronto, man. If you're a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you don't know Officer Zabaja, you don't know nobody, you understand. Forget about Drake. That's the man that's really, you understand, running the six, you understand. Let's get it.
The water for your kind words. The water for your kind words, man. I'm just a humble servant to my brothers.
Yeah, most sign Christ, most sign Christ, people, most sign Christ. And also we have also 500 Bar Kelly, you understand? The host doing the most with us, you understand? In Montreal, Canada, you already know this brother, man. Every brother, you understand? So I'm proud to, you understand, with next to these brothers, you understand? And to attend, you understand, to do this class, having these brothers. You understand? And these are the type of brothers that you want to have next to you as well. All right. That being said, let's get it. Everybody's seeing exactly what happened, you understand, these past few days. We seen also the budget. I know you seen it. We seen a religious leader talking about, you understand, some deviancy, you understand, in front of everybody.
Right, I seen that. I seen that nasty shit.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I seen that nasty stuff. Salakia.
The Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama, you understand, in a video, you understand? Hey, Shalom, priest and officer, Barakala. Okay.
I know Washington with Thumb.
What's going on, priest?
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai Thumb.
Understand? We seen, you understand, the Dalai Lama, one of the top so-called spiritual leaders, man. So-called spiritual leaders of the world, of this world. You understand? I never seen the Dalai Lama mad at Dalai Lama, you understand, when back in the day, because you understand, I was searching the truth and searching, you understand, these other religions out of Russia. Dalai Lama was like somebody like, you understand, that's always speaking nice. Just like the Christian preacher. There's no curse word that come out the Dalai Lama mouth. You understand? Give me a second, priest. Give me a second. You're not gonna see, you understand, the F bomb coming out the Dalai Lama mouth. You're not gonna see, you understand, the B word coming out of the Dalai Lama mouth. Meanwhile, that damn sexual deviant is molesting kids. Meanwhile, live in public, he did something, you understand, everybody should be like, you know what? Let's cancel the Dalai Lama. You cancel Kanye West for telling you we are the Jews. Why not cancel the Dalai Lama for exactly doing what he did? And we'll see exactly what he did. You understand? Why not cancel exactly the Dalai Lama? Gonna find out this is exactly this empire that we live in. And you understand? This is the norm of the society. You understand? The Greeks and the Romans were known for doing exactly what the Dalai Lama did. You understand? The oppressor during slavery did exactly the same thing. So you understand? And most people, understand? Matter of fact, you understand? Most of us as Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian in our household, we have the Dalai Lama in our house, in our own household. Your Christian preachers, no matter what the religion, the denomination is, does exactly the same thing. You understand? The Catholic Church, you understand, is known for doing the same thing that the Dalai Lama did. They do exactly the same thing. Go ahead, also, Bright
I'm just gonna say the however you say the Dalai Lama, whatever, however you say, you know, he's just an Asian hippie. That's all he is. And it is a known fact that hippies were sexual deviants and were getting high. You know, that's all he is. You understand? The Christian church are just hippies, you know, they're sexual deviants who get high. The Dalai Lama is just an Asian hippie. That's all he is, Ottawa. At the end of the day, it's just a different denomination, but it's all the same thing. You understand? Buddhist, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Hinduist, whatever your religion is, you're a Christian.
Right.
Outside of the I.S.U.P.K, you're a Christian and a sexual deviant, whether you know it or not. Salak, Ottawa.
I'm most correct what you said is Debbie, and that's what I was gonna say as well. You understand? Like if you're not in the I.S.U.P.K, you are a Christian. No matter, you understand? No matter where you are a Christian. You are a Muslim, you are a Christian. You are you understand, a Buddhist, you are a Christian. And what do we mean by that? Because a lot of people might not get it, you understand, when we say you are a Christian. Like the term Christian that we have today is not the same thing as the brothers, you understand, the apostles, you understand, that was following Christ. They don't do the same thing. They don't move the same way. They don't talk about the same thing they talk about. Christians today think God loves everybody. You understand? In Christianity, you understand, everybody could be included. Can I be a Buddhist? Hell yeah, I could be a Buddhist if I want to. Can I be a Muslim? Hell yeah, I could be a Muslim if I want to. So that's, you understand? And do I have to change, you understand, to show that I'm a Christian? All I gotta do is God loves everybody. Why? Because even in the churches, you find sexual deviancies. Even
Right.
in the churches, you understand? One of the most thing that I've seen in the church, a woman could have a man in that church, divorce that man, go out, you understand, with another brother in that church. That's sexual deviancies in the church. Understand? Your church has, you understand, sisters, you understand, that has boyfriend over here today. Then the next month, you understand, that boyfriend, you understand, they broke up. She goes out with another brother in that same church, in that same denomination. That's sexual deviancy as well. That's exactly just like the Dalai Lama, you understand, just like your Christian preachers, just like, you understand, just like the Catholic Church, just like exactly like those people, you understand, your stepfather molesting you. It's the same thing. Understand? And this is why we call them Christian. We call anything that's outside of the UPK Christian. Why? Because it's the same spirit that's out there. And the thing is, we love to listen, you understand, to men that appear to follow God. Just because that brother got a suit and tie on and nice shoes doesn't mean he follow God, man. Your pastor come to church, you understand, with a suit and tie, you understand, saying like, if you don't wear a suit and tie, Akim, it's like, you understand, you're a hoodlum. You got to come in church with a suit and tie and everything, and people think that you civilized. People think, well, you know what, this person is of God. Meanwhile, the Italian mafia wears suit and ties. And what is the religion of the Italian mafia? Anybody want to guess?
So Laki, if I could, right? You're basically seeing, or what the whole earth is seeing, that what these heathens hold up as righteous is definitely not anything righteous, right? This is supposed to be a man of peace and zen, and they try to paint the Buddhists. You see them, right? They're outward people. They walk around in their sheets, right? I'm gonna call them sheets because I don't know what those things are, right? And they portray themselves as being a peaceful people, right? You're really finding out there is a monster in those temples. Slovakia.
So like that one.
Go ahead, please.
Just to answer your question, the Italians or the Romans are Catholics or Christians.
They are what?
They're Catholics, which is not a denomination of the Roman Catholic Church, or just Christians.
They are Christian. You understand? The Italian mafia are a bunch of Christian, cross-wearing, you understand, gangsters. This is who they are. So, and they wear suit and tie. And what you say also about it is exactly, you understand, correct. You understand? And that's what we find in the Christian church. That's what we find in Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian household as well. You understand? The Catholic, the Italian mafia dress exactly like your pastor. Well, don't you find it interesting that they all dress the same? You understand? Catholic, you understand? Your pastor, Christian preachers, you understand? Outside of the Catholic Church, Italian mafia, your lying politicians, they all dress the same way. Well, isn't that something? Isn't that something to think about? They're all dressed the same way. You understand? Your politicians wear, you understand, suit and tie. You understand? With them nice shoes. Us in the UPK, we wear black boots. You understand? We wear black boots. You understand? All black and in braids. Why? Because this is the culture of the Israelite. You understand? Why? Because this is exactly, you understand, we are men of war. We are not like your Christian preachers. We are men ready, you understand, to go to battle in battle, you understand, in battle mode for every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. Understand? You think we couldn't be like your Christian preachers doing something else, some sexual deviancy, you understand, in the weekend, everyday life? We could have been that, but we chose, you understand, to do something different, which is follow Christ, follow the Most High. Hey, Shalom, Preaching Officer 500 Shy 1. We also have, you understand,
Yeah, but Shimon Shabrak Thumb.
the man of the hour. The man of the hour, Shia One. Let's get it, man. You understand? A fervent brother in this truth, man. You understand? This brother is a brother I look up to as well for his zeal and the determination as well. You understand? And I know if the brother, you understand, wants something to be done, it will be done as well. All right. So the Catholic Church and you understand, the Italian mafia just like your pastors. And the thing is, you put so much faith in those Christian preachers. Why? Because of their look. Why? Because of their smooth words. Because they talk to you, you understand, with a game, you understand, appealing to your eyes. Because they don't break your heart just like the UPK does. Because they don't talk rough like us. Meanwhile, Christ used to talk rough, man. Everybody think, you understand, Christ was just some humble dude. Hallelujah. Nah. Christ beat people out in the temple, man. Christ beat people that was selling in the temple. You understand? Took their money and threw away their money, man. You don't do that today, I.K.M. What would happen to you if you go to a drug dealer and you just take his money and everything that he has and just threw it away? What would happen to you? Anyone like
Slovakia, you would be unalived.
And you'll be unalive.
Right.
Unalive, I.K.M. You understand that you'll be shut down, gunned down. Imagine, you understand, these people had the same feeling. You messing with Christ was messing with their livelihood, their revenue. They were selling at the temple. One at a time, you understand, one at a time, everybody come in the temple. So that you know that they were making profit every Saturday, every Shabbat. You know they were making profit, you understand, in the temple because everybody used to come in the temple as well to sacrifice, you understand, to see visitors and so on and so on. So Christ exactly, you understand, throwing, you understand, their change, their money away, you understand, putting down their table and whipping them. Show you that Christ wasn't, you understand, some pacified, sissified, you understand, man. But he was a hardcore man that don't fear a damn thing, man. And you only find that in the UPK, man. You understand? Christ wasn't just like your preacher speaking cool and everything. Nah. Christ was speaking without the microphone to thousands of brothers, man. Thousands of sisters, man. In a time where they were, you understand, no microphone. So that brother had to speak loud. And this is what we find, you understand, in Revelation. You understand? Revelation, the first chapter, you understand, where he described Christ. You understand? He says that his voice is like many waters, which means he used to talk loud. Christ wasn't just like is not like your pastor, man. And you respect your pastor because of it. You respect your pastor because he's not like Christ. Because if Christ was like on the earth right now, you would have said, well, you know what? Christ is a crazy man. You would have said Christ is a zealot. You would have said Christ, you understand? Well, he's just like those guys. He's just like Officer Zabajah. He's just like Officer Shire One and Officer Barkella, some radical dude that lost his mind. That's what you would have said about Christ. Well, your pastor, though, you love him to death. You cook for pastor. I said sisters don't even respect their own man, but will respect pastor. You understand? And that happens in the church. Why? Because your pastor is a damn greedy dog. Somebody bring me to him. We should go first. First John chapter 4, verse 21. Verse 1. Whenever y'all want to add, you know what I'm saying, add up something or say something, go ahead. All right, feel free. All right, I can.
Come on, no sweat. What book were you asking for? John chapter
1 John chapter 4, verse 1. You understand? Your Christian preacher, you understand, is the damn devil, man. He's a deceiver. Just like the Dalai Lama. I said, like I said earlier, the Dalai Lama, I never heard the Dalai Lama say, you understand, the F-bomb, the B word. I never, you understand? Everybody think the Dalai Lama is such on a spiritual level. They meditate every day. You understand? They're in those temples, you understand, those Buddhist temples, doing whatever, you understand, you might never know. But we know in the I.S.U.P.K, you understand, we've done our research and everything. They're selling drugs in those temples, man. They're selling drugs and they're having, you understand, orgies in those temples, just like in your Christian church. You understand? There's no difference.
Go
ahead, please.
I'm holding 1 John chapter 4, verse 1.
Go ahead.
It's the book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled.
Salaka, 1 John chapter 4, verse 1.
I got it. This is 1 John chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits.
But believe not who?
Every spirit.
What does that mean?
So like, yeah, it doesn't mean like don't believe everyone that says something to you, or don't believe every thought that comes to your mind.
Yes, but can anything else be a spirit out there outside of everyone?
Come.
Like what?
Like the whole Buddhist monk vibe.
Let's say I am somebody that follows, you understand, Islam, the NOI, where you understand Muhammad supposedly, you understand, was talking to the angel Gabriel. Is that talking about that as well?
So like you said somebody from the NOI who's basically saying they were talking to the Archangel Gabriel?
Not somebody, but Muhammad. You know they follow the Quran, right? NOI, you understand? They follow the Quran. So following the Quran, you have Muhammad in the Quran that you understand that was hearing the angel Gabriel talking to, you understand, to women and everything. That's supposedly, you understand, how we got the Quran. Supposedly.
Right.
So if somebody, you understand, like in the same level as Muhammad and everything, should I, you understand, and hearing voices, hearing you understand, an angel, is it talking about that as well?
Salak, the other one.
Go ahead.
Khan, Salak, if I may, it's more like a lot of people say they believe God. A lot of people say that they follow Christ, they love God, they love Jesus, and they when it says believe not in every spirit, it's like they come in a certain way, right? Like they come in a certain spirit, a certain vibe. So like there might be a pastor outside who's on the corner just singing hallelujah Jesus, I love Jesus. Everybody needs to come to this church. Well, the Most High is saying, don't believe that, man. Don't believe everything that you see.
Because what is a spirit?
It's like the vibe that somebody comes in.
And what?
Like the vibe that somebody comes with.
This is a spirit. The spirit is a vibe. You also have the spirit in the human body. Animal has spirits, you understand? Even the plants have spirit in them, you understand? The plants are alive. So there's a spiritual, you understand? Spirit or entity behind the plant or animals as well. But this is talking about the vibe. You understand? Not just, you understand, like anybody, you understand that, and also like anybody that come talk to you. You understand? But it's mainly the vibe. When you're in the Christian church, I was in the Christian church all my life before the truth. You understand? I was a Christian before back in the day. And when you're in the Christian church, all this singing, All this say amen. All this, you understand? Yes, pastor. Makes you think, you understand, that is a place where they worship God and follow God. Meanwhile, they don't do it. They don't celebrate the Passover,
Right.
which is forever. You understand? They don't celebrate, you understand, the feast of unleavened bread, which is a law that you should do forever. They don't celebrate the feast, you understand, of the Most High, found in Leviticus chapter 13. And so like 23. You understand? They don't follow that. Why? Because you understand, they don't have the Holy Spirit, which is a vibe, a separate vibe. You have the Holy Spirit, which is something separate from them. Meanwhile, the same spirit that's in the Dalai Lama is the same spirit that is in the church. The same spirit that's in those Buddhists is the same spirit that's in every Christian. It's the same vibe.
Right.
You understand? A vibe of something, you understand, like majestic, of holy. Oh wow, we are Christian. It felt good. It's the same vibe when you go to a concert. You understand? When you go to the club, when those Christians are singing and singing and singing, and they get the feeling, they get goosebumps and everything. It's the same thing that happens when you go in the club and you hear your favorite song. It is the same thing.
Right.
Nothing different. Keep on going on the verse, Brother White.
Come. But try the spirits.
But do what?
But try the spirits.
What does that mean?
Salak, the other one.
Go ahead.
It means to test it.
So in Christ, that's exactly what it means. It means to
Right.
test the, you understand? Test the vibe, test the feeling. Look at it. How would I test? You understand? If I'm a Christian, how would I test the spirit of the church I'm in?
Salakia.
Go ahead, please.
First, to find out, is there any homosexuals in the choir?
Good. You understand? And most likely, you understand, that choir director is an homosexual or bisexual. You understand?
Right.
Most likely, in every Christian church, your choir director is an homosexual or bisexual. If you don't believe me, you'll find out. You understand?
Right.
You check exactly, you understand, the vibe where you at. You understand? You check exactly, are they doing exactly what God says? You understand? You check exactly, does it correspond with the Bible? Because the Bible doesn't lie. There's no contradiction in the Bible. So if you understand, your church makes you feel like there's a contradiction from Genesis to Revelation, there might be something wrong with that church. And it is. You better flee from that church. Why? Because they're not going to tell you the truth. And like we say in the UPK, there's no church on the face of the earth that's telling you the truth. This is why we are the home of the truth in the UPK. Understand? Keep on going.
Whether this is 1 John chapter 4 verse 1, whether they are of God.
Understand?
Because
test
many
test that spirit, whether it is from God or they are of God. That vibe, that person, you understand, that entity, you understand, that angel Gabriel, you was right as well when you said yes, you understand, that angel or whoever, you understand, that come talk to you about God or spirituality or holiness, test that spirit if it is of God. And how do you know a spirit of somebody's of God?
Salak, the other one, if I may.
Go ahead.
Because they do what God commands them.
Precept.
Salak, the other one. There's a precept that says, I'll show you my faith by my works.
I'll show you my faith. That's cool. That's cool. That's good too. I'm looking for another precept.
Salakia, 1 second.
Salak, the other one, if I may.
Go ahead, please.
In 1 John it says, Salaki, I'm loosely paraphrasing. He who Salakia, he who says he loves God but hateth his brother is a liar.
You understand? That's another good precept as well. You understand? But it might appear that they love their brother. You understand? The Christian church appears that you understand they love their brother. When you go in there, you understand? If you're a visitor in the Christian church, you understand? They make you they ask, who's the visitor? Who are the visitors over here today? And you have to stand up, and everybody, you understand, clap for you, welcome you, and everything. So it might appear like brotherhood. You understand? So how do we know something that you understand that the spirit is of God?
Salakia, can we use 1 John 5:3, which says, or 1 John 5:3, for this is the love of God that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Yes, we could use that. We could use that. And Christ also, you understand? Let's get to that's an excellent precept as well. Let's get to John chapter 14 and verse 15, Baba Question. You could hold where you at, Officer Baja, Officer Shawan. Get John chapter 14, verse 15.
Come on, priest.
Matter of fact, keep that also and get John chapter 15, verse 10 also the Bible. You could get that. You could keep the where you at, but you understand? John chapter 15, verse 10.
You want 1 John 15, verse 10, or just John?
No, John 15, verse 10.
Come on, priest. I got John 15, verse 10.
Let's get it.
John 15, verse 10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall
If you
abide in my love. If ye
If you do
keep my
what?
commandments,
Mhm.
ye shall
Yeah.
abide in my love.
You understand? Who's talking right there? Whose
So
word
like
are
that would be the
Go ahead.
Salakia.
Whose word are those?
Those are the Lord's words.
You understand? Those are Christ's words. If you understand, if you obey my commandments, if you do what I ask you to do, then you come, you understand? Then you are, you understand? It shows that you love me. Read it again, please.
John 15, verse 10. If you keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love.
You shall abide in my
Even
love. Understand? You should remain in my love if you do my commandments. Understand? And the commandments of Christ are the same commandments that you find in the Old Testament. All of them. You understand? Not some of them, all of them. Matter of fact, you understand? Drop that. Bring me to Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 13. Also, Shawan, do you have the verse I was asking you?
Salaki, I dropped out for a second.
Okay. Get Bible question, please, priest. Give me John chapter 14, verse 15.
John chapter 14, verse 15.
Mhm.
Come. This is the book of John chapter 14 and verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
If you love me, if you are of me, keep my commandments. This is why when you understand, we go back in First John, and Officer Zabaja was reading, you understand? You understand? If you are of me, you understand? Check his spirit to see if it is of God. How? By exactly saying if that person keep God's commandment. If they celebrate the Passover, they are of God. If they celebrate the death of the Egyptians, you understand, they are of God. If not, they are not of God, because that is a law. If they celebrate, you understand, the feast of you understand, unleavened bread, they are of God because that's part of the law. You understand? If you love Christ, you will do those things. You will keep the law, not some of them, all of them. You understand? Let's keep on going.
Verse 16.
Okay, drop that. Also, Zabajah, do you have Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 13?
Sir.
Let's get it.
Deuteronomy 11, verse 13. And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day.
It should come to pass. You understand? It will come to time when you understand you follow God's commandment. Go ahead. All of them. Go ahead.
To love the Lord your God, and serve him with all your heart.
To do what?
And all your soul.
You understand? To do what? To serve God. To love God. How do you love God? By keeping all the commandments. We don't find that in the Christian church. So the Christian church is not a place where, you understand, they are going to teach you, understand, how to love God. Some churches keep some of the laws. Matter of fact, all the churches keep some of the laws. Some keep this, some keep that, but they don't keep the entire law. And this is why your Christian preacher, you understand, has a smooth face, shave his beard, you understand, shape up, and so on and so on. Because they don't love God. They don't teach you how to love God. You understand? But this is what, you understand, First John is talking about. This is how you discern somebody that love God and, you understand, and does do not love God. And that's important for you as a Christian or as Black, Hispanics, and Native American, because we have a lot of, you understand, go back to that verse, you understand, that you were the First John verse, double question, right?
First John, you want me to read from Salakia?
Read where you was at.
Sir. This is First John verse 4 and 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out. Many false prophets.
What is a prophet?
A prophet is a messenger of the Lord.
A messenger. What is the job of a prophet?
To warn the people or give the people the Lord's words, like what's going to happen.
God, to, you understand, to prophesy, you understand, which is to tell exactly what's going to happen. So if I say God loves everybody in Christ will save anybody in every race, am I a good prophet or a false prophet?
I say that's a bad prophet.
Right.
Why is it a false prophet? You know what I'm saying? Why am I a false prophet for saying everybody, you understand, should be saved? Because I'm talking about the, you understand, for Christians that don't understand this. When you talk about the future and things that will happen, you prophesy. You understand? You tell the future, well, Christ will save everybody or everyone in every nation. That's a prophecy that you're making.
Right.
You understand? You might not understand it as like that. You're making a prophecy and an assumption that Christ will save everybody or any race. Christ will save, you understand? Christ came for everybody, every race. And you understand, any one of them could be saved. That's a prophecy that you're making. Is it a, you understand, a good prophecy, or am I a false prophet by saying that?
Salakia, the one.
Go ahead.
You're a false prophet.
Why is that?
Because the Most High does not love everybody, according to the
God, Most High in Christ. You understand? And not only that, also child one. Not only that, is Christ didn't come to save everyone. Christ came to save his people.
Right.
You understand? That's all throughout, you understand? Even in Romans, you find out, you understand, where not all of Abraham's children, you understand, the Abraham children that are not elected, are not children of God, are not son of God. That's in the New Testament.
Con.
Your preacher will never read that to you. You understand? They are not the sons of God. Why? Because they are not from the elect. From, you understand? From Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They are not part of the 12 tribe. So if I make a prophecy and say, well, you know what? Anybody could be saved. The Chinaman is going to be saved if he accepts God. That's a false prophecy. And I become a false prophet. Your Christian preachers are false prophets. You understand? That's in the Bible. And this is why you have to discern. This is why you understand you have to check. This is why you have to test the spirit. If they are of God or of this world. If they are not of God, they are of this world, of Satan.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Con, what other one? Salakia, if I may. What's crazy is that when Christ comes to save us, like when you look in the book of Baruch, our salvation can't come unless our enemies are defeated.
Right?
Christ can't come to save everybody. There's a people that are going to be saved, and there's a people that are going to be defeated.
Yeah. And I love what you understand what you just said, also Shawan, because our enemies are written in Psalm 83.
Right.
And when you see the Psalm 83, you understand it. Our enemies are the other nations. The same nation that your church will say, you understand, everybody could be saved. Well, that's the same thing with the Buddhist church or Buddhist religion. Because you could join the Buddhist religion if you want to. Anybody could join the Buddhist religion. You understand? There's no criteria. You understand? Go ahead, please.
Salakia, like that Buddhist religion needs to go right in the trash where it came from, right? Because this is supposed to be a holy man who is he's asking a child to suck on his tongue.
Good night.
Right? Now, if a regular man walked down the street and went to a kid at a school in their playground and said, "Hey, little Susan, suck on my tongue," that man would be thrown in jail for pedophilia. Now, we see so much sexual deviancy in so many religions, right? We see it within the Catholic Church. We see it in the Christian Church. We're seeing it in Buddhism, right? The pastor, the monks, and the popes, and the so-called fathers of the Catholic Church, they all go to the same bar, right? On Sundays. It's a disgusting thing that we're seeing. Furthermore, just to add on to what you and Officer Sharyuan were saying, sir, right? Christ can't save everybody because Christ is doing what the Lord is telling him to do. The Lord is telling him to save the children of Israel. He's not saying save everybody because the Lord doesn't love everybody, right? And it's funny because me and Officer Sharyuan, we had a conversation with a Christian sister about that same thing. And Christians, for the Christians, they love to stay in the New Testament, but they forget the New Testament talks about how God hated Jacob, Salakia, how God hated Esau and loved Jacob, right? So God doesn't love everybody. Everybody's not getting saved. And the Buddhist religion, throw that in the trash.
And matter of fact, you understand, not to switch topic, but you understand, somebody bring me to Luke chapter 1, verse 71 by question.
Come, sir.
And just to get back, you understand, like Christian one use the New Testament like it's for everybody. But the thing is, Christians do not understand the New Testament. Just like they don't understand the Old Testament. Understand? Why? Because of fake leaders, just like the Dalai Lama. You understand? Just like you understand your Christian preacher, which is all the same thing. They don't teach you the truth. These people that you look up to and admire, you understand? put on the pedestal. These people, you understand, they don't give a damn about you. These people are not telling you the truth. These people are not showing you exactly how to be in this life. All they want is their money. That's all they want. All they want is they got their money, and all they want is to be allowed to do whatever sexual deviancy they didn't want to perform freely. That's all they want. They want to be like Jeffrey Epstein. That's all they want. They want to be just like R. Kelly. You understand? Be free to do, you understand, every sexual deviancy or every lust that they have. So somebody who has the first book?
Con, sir. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 71.
That's one verse that I love, actually. When I deal with Christian, you understand, Christian nuts, you understand, I bring that verse and ask them, who's the enemies? You understand? What are the enemies? Read it.
Verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies.
That we should be saved from our enemy. Who's the we?
It's like the other one. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the children of Israel.
Matter of fact, go read that one verse above.
Con. This is Luke chapter 1 and verse 70. And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets.
And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophet. Who spake by the mouth, you understand, of the holy prophet? Come on, Akim. Who was talking through the prophets?
Slack, the other one. Is this Christ speaking?
No, look one, you understand? But what I'm asking is like, who spake by the mouth of the holy prophet? When the prophet spoke, you understand, back in the day, whose word are those?
Slack, the other one.
Those are the Lord's words.
That's you understand, the Lord's. Is it Yahweh or Yahushua?
Salakia?
Is it Yahweh or Yahushua?
In this verse, this is Yahushua.
Read it again, also Shawan.
Con, sir. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets.
As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophet. So when the prophet prophesies, whose word are they prophesying?
Select, yes,
Those
sir.
are Yahweh's words.
Those are Yahweh's words. You understand? That's the correct answer. You understand? That's Yahweh. You understand? That's what Yahweh wants. That's what, you understand, the Most High, you understand, the God, the Creator, you understand, which is not the same as Christ, Christian. Christ is not Yahweh. Christ is not the Father. Christ is not the God above. Understand? Christ is exactly the servant of God, the right hand of God, a created being. Just like I am a created being, you are a created being. God is not created. Understand? Keep going.
Which have been since the world began.
Which has been since the world began. So that means since ancient time, since Adam, since this creation, those prophecies are there laid out, you understand, ready to roll.
Right.
Those prophecies that you understand that we're talking about today in the UPK, that nobody seems to understand and know, those prophecies, you understand, been laid out, ready, you understand, to roll. That's cool. You get more. I can keep this verse when you're dealing with Christian nuts, all right?
Concept.
Go ahead.
Verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies.
Wait a minute. What?
That we should be saved from our enemies.
This is salvation in the Bible, in the New Testament. That we should, who's the we again? Because I might be confused. I might not know what I'm talking about. So who's the we again?
Select the other one. This is the children of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
God, the children of Israel. So the children of Israel might be saved from their enemies. This is salvation in the Bible, man. This is why Christ came forward, man. Who's the enemies of the children of Israel? Who are the enemies of the children of Israel? Anybody?
Salakia, the heathen nations like Esau, Moab.
You understand? These are the other nations. If you understand the Bible, you will understand this life. Akim, there's a video I wanted to share today, right? But I'm not, for the sake of this class, I'm not gonna do it because we're. Akim, I don't know if you have a video of the them Dalai Lama, because some people might not know what we're talking about. We should have that, you know what I'm saying? But
Good.
I have a video. I'm gonna send it.
There's a video where a Chinese woman is saying, "Well, you know what? We are not allowed to go in white people's neighborhood and to open business. We weren't allowed. Today it's more openly, you understand, like white people, you understand, want Chinese food, you understand? So they give them free pass a little bit. But they were allowed to go in white people's neighborhood because you understand, they were saying, well, you know what? We don't want to give our hard-earned money to you guys. But you know what? Go open your restaurant and your businesses in the black neighborhood. There's a video I posted on Facebook. You understand that's talking? You understand where the Chinese woman is talking about that?
Salakia, I think we got the same video, and we're gonna be breaking that down tomorrow during the Rise 1969 at 5 p.m.
You understand? It's crazy, man. You understand? These are our enemies. And today we're still exactly under our enemies. And we don't want to accept that. Just like, you understand, you see the Dalai Lama, these are our enemies. We're the only nation that don't see the other nation as enemies. Everybody else, Ukraine, see Russia as enemies, even though they are the same people. You understand? The Arabs, you understand, the Edomites, you understand, see the Arabs as their enemies because they're so supposedly, you understand, bombed the World Trade Center. China, you understand, America see China as their enemies. They don't want to integrate with China. They don't want to save China. They are enemies. They are competitors. We are the only people, you understand, on the face of the earth that do not look at these other races as enemies. And this is why we're in the bottom. Because we want to integrate with everybody, with Buddhism, with, you understand, Edomite Christianity, white man Christianity. We want to have all these other, you know, say African, and so on and so on, as friends, allies, and we are the same. They don't look at you as the same. The Africans don't look at you exactly like you are them. The African call you a kata, which means, you understand, cotton picker, man. That's how they look at you for, man. All you good for, you understand, is your woman or our whores. We could have sex with your woman, and we say you drug, we scam you, and so on and so on. That's how they look at you. They don't look at you as their friend and their family. Read that verse again, because maybe Christians don't understand like I was saying, like Christians, you understand, just to go outside the topic, but Christians don't understand the Bible. Christians don't understand the New Testament. This is salvation in the New Testament, I think. The first chapter of Luke. You understand? And I can't wait to bring that verse in camp, man, you understand? Or if I don't, any one of you brothers just bring it out, you understand? I can't wait for that verse, you understand, to be brought out and ask the Christian, who's the enemies? And none of these Christians will be able to answer. Meanwhile, the answer is in Psalm 83. Matter of fact, the answer is in everyday's life. The answer is in the video that Officer Zabaj is going to play tomorrow in the podcast. You understand? The Rise podcast, man. Read it again, Officer Shawan.
Verse 71, that we should be saved from our enemies.
This is salvation in the Bible, that we shall be saved from our enemies. And you know what? If we keep on listening to, you understand, those greedy pastors, putting our trust in them, the Dalai Lama, putting, you understand, the Catholic Church, we are not going to be saved from our enemies, but we are going to be consumed by our enemies. You understand? Keep on going, Officer Shawan.
Okay. And from the hand of all that hate us.
Wait a minute. What?
and from the hand of all that hate us.
This is salvation. This is the salvation of Christ, Christian. Christ is gonna save us from our enemies and those that the end of those that hate us. What does that mean? The hand of those that hate us.
Salak, Adawan.
Go ahead, please.
All the people that are doing wrong to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
You understand? Damn right. Because your hand is action. What you do with your hand is, you understand, you act. You do work, you understand? You act with your hand. So every one of them, you understand, that do wrong to us. The Asian, the Arab setting up, you understand, businesses and commerce in our neighborhood is exactly doing wrong to us. How many businesses we have in Chinatown?
You rarely see one, Salakia.
That doesn't exist. And I was shocked at them. You know, there's a Chinatown in Brazil, in South, you understand, a lot of, you understand, countries in South America. I was shocked. I was like, wow, damn. In certain places in South America, they have Chinatown. Let's not even talk about Jamaica, because you understand, the other day, Jamaica had to burn down, you understand, a Chinese man business because they understand they mistreated a black woman, man. You understand? These are our enemies and do wrong to us. How many black, you understand, Jamaican business we have in China? Okay, have you ever heard about it? How many Haitian store we have in Asian restaurant? You understand that good? You understand Ziggy John John? You understand that good? You understand lamb? How many of them we have in China? None of them. Not one. Meanwhile, they are in our nation, in our neighborhood, and they are doing wrong to us because they're sucking, you understand, the not the thumbs, a lot. You understand? They're sucking, you understand, the wealth of the people, you understand? The wealth of our nation, man. You understand? That's right in the New Testament. Christian will not, your pastor will never read you that verse. You will never read that verse and understand it, you understand, without the I.S.U.P.K. Because why? Because you have men, you understand, that you value, that you esteem in a high place. Meanwhile, those brothers, you understand, like Officer Zabaja, Officer Shawan, Officer Barrichello, that's telling you the truth in Canada, you know what you do to them? You deny them. You ignore them. Yet they care about you just like Christ cared about you, man. They care about you just like God cares about you, man. And this is what they're doing this, man. They're doing this for free. We're doing these classes, you understand, every weekend for free. Don't pay your tithes to the Christian church, to your pastor. See what happens.
Salakia. If I may, right? Today we are talking to a Salakia.
Now, Officer Shaw, let Officer about to go first, all right?
We're most likely going to say the
same thing.
Yeah. Today we were talking to. Now I'm not sure if this is a brother or not, right? The brother, the man we were talking to, he was definitely interested in the truth. The man is a brother trying to research the truth. So, like, I'm not sure if y'all can hear me.
Yeah, you can.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, come.
Okay, so this man said he's seen us, and we started walking off, and he started following us, and he's like, we noticed him behind us now, so it's like we turn around. He's like, questions. I'm like, you want to ask us some questions? He's like, yeah, I seen you guys, and I've been looking for you guys. Now he's been talking to Christians in the city who put fringes on t-shirts, right? I'm not exactly sure which Christian group he was talking to, but he basically said that it's getting to a point where they're charging him to learn, right? He has to pay to learn. Good night.
That's that. And this is amazing. You understand? Like, you understand? And this is why the I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. You understand? Like, that brother should have asked those brothers, how much Christ charged to, you understand, to teach.
Right.
You understand? Christ didn't charge a dime, and we're not charging a dime. Yes, you must pay your tithes, because those tithes, you understand, they will go, you understand, and feed the native family, you understand, feed the Haitian family, feed, you understand, like you understand, those people, you understand, are all people that are in need. They will feed, you understand. We use that tithe to feed them and protect them and help them, you understand, pay off their bills, help them with their bills and whatnot, you understand. Meanwhile, your Christian church is not going to do that, you understand. But officers of budget is not getting paid. Also, Child One is not. Also, Child One does the, you understand, Lashon Kodash class, the Holy Tongue class, you understand. He's not gonna ask you to suck his tongue. Let me put it like that. You understand? He's not gonna ask your children to suck his tongue, man.
Right.
Why? Because also Child One is a man of the Lord, man. Meanwhile, and Akim, let's go back to the subject. I say you could drop that verse. Matter of fact, you understand? Also, Child One.
I got the video for you anytime you're ready.
Yeah, but I want the last part of what else Child One is reading right now before we clip the on the subject.
Come on, sir. And from the hand of all that hate us.
Go ahead.
Verse 72.
Go ahead.
To perform the mercy promised to our fathers.
Well, Akim, this sum up the New Testament right there. To do what?
Cancer. To perform the mercy promised to our fathers.
To perform the promise, the mercy promised to our fathers. Akim, you cannot get, you understand, around that.
Right.
Who are the fathers? You understand? The Israelite fathers, you understand? The father of the Israel are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So, you understand? God gave the prophets, you understand, vision and dreams, you understand, and you understand, prophecies. And he told that, you understand, those prophets spoke those prophecies where God said, I will save your people from the end of the white man, from the end of the Chinese man, from the end of, you understand, the Africans, from the end of the Arabs, from the end of the East Indian. And that's mercy to us, man. What we're saying right now doesn't qualify us as false prophets, because we say exactly what the prophecy says. But when you go outside the prophecies, to go back with us, what 1 John chapter 4 verse 1, when you go outside these prophecies and say, well, it is for everybody, you become a false prophet. This is why, you understand, in Revelation, it tells you, make sure, you understand, you don't add or take away from this truth or the prophecy, man. Make sure you understand this book before you understand, speak about this book, man. Because you might say something that will take your goddamn life away, man. You might say something that you will regret for the rest of your life. And every Christian don't say the exactly false prophecies, man. Every one of them. You understand? I can keep those two verses, those three verses, all right? I can understand in your debate, you understand, we Christian, you understand, that don't understand the New Testament. You understand? But it is right there, I can. You cannot go, you understand, beyond that. You cannot go around that. You understand? Our salvation is a promise that God made to our fathers. And we know that today, our fathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
Prophecy in the Bible that says, when in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves. Well, there's only one place where the children of Israel were captive and forgot, you understand, who they were. That's in America, man. You understand? When the children of Israel were in captivity by the Romans in the time of Christ, they knew they were Israelite. When they were in captivity by the Assyrian, by the Greeks, by the Ethiopian, you understand, Babylonian, they knew who they were. So if it is not America, that means that prophecy doesn't make sense. If we are not the children of Israel, that prophecy, you understand, that say, well, you know what? In the land of the captivity, they shall remember themselves. That doesn't make sense because all the other past captivities, Israel knew who they were. We are it's the only captivity where the children of Israel don't have knowledge of self. Only in America. And because of that, God will save you from the end of your enemies. Not Satan, not the demons, but other nation, man. It's time for you to understand the truth. Go ahead, Officer Shawan.
Oh, Salaki, just a question. Because what you're bringing out is so heavy, and when you think of the promises, like there's a promise that blacks would unite with Hispanics and Native North American Indians. Like when these Christians are going around saying salvation is something else, like you're taking away from that prophecy. You're taking away from something that's such a beautiful thing. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because, like, when I think of the Passover, like to see all our brothers from South America, Honduras, Guatemala, Cuba, Dominican, right? All the North American Indians, Seminole Indians, all the Hispanics, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans. Like before this truth, I never looked at these people like my brothers. But coming into the I.S.U.P.K, I've gained so many brothers that I never would have had if it wasn't for this truth. There's so many people out there I would have never looked at like my brother. You know what I mean? I would have never looked at the Mexicans like they were going through the same shit, the same things that I was going through. All right. So I just wanted to say that's such a heavy thing because that promise is in there that we would unite.
And you understand what you're talking about in Ezekiel 37, verse 15 to 28. That's exactly, you understand, like a prophecy, you understand, where Israel shall be united once again into its own nation, because we were divided since the time of Solomon, you understand? So after Solomon, you understand, we were divided. So you understand, like it is a prophecy where the two sticks shall become one, which is also in the New Testament as well. Well, you know what? Christians don't understand that prophecy. You know why? Because Christians don't know who are the Israelites. Christians don't understand no prophecies at all in this Bible, man. None. You understand? They listen to the white man. You understand? The white man that fooled them and lied to them, that deceived them. And this is why we say the oppressor, the Edomite, the so-called Caucasian, are the devil the Bible speak of, man. Because the word devil means the deceiver. They deceive you into thinking, you understand, everybody should be saved. They deceive you into thinking, well, the Dalai Lama is a spiritual being. Meanwhile, he's a damn sexual deviant. Let's go. All right, let's drop that. Let's go to the video also about it. Let's go to that video and see.
Sure, and I got it right here.
God damn. And Salakia YouTube, this is for educational purposes as well. You understand? It is not, you understand, we don't own no, you understand, right on this video, but to educate, you understand? To educate our people, we gotta use this video, all right? You could play officers about it.
It's just playing music in the background, so.
Do you have a video where they could actually see the? Well, you know what? We don't need all that. We got it right. We don't need all that. Our people have been traumatized already, so understand. But this is what happened.
God, this is 12.
God, can you put it back? You understand? In the
because so okay, as you watch this.
Yeah, right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. And he kissed a young Indian boy on the lips before asking him to suck his tongue. This is what you have, you understand, in these other religions. This is what your Christian preacher is doing. This is what the Catholic Church is doing, man. It is the same spirit in all these other religions, these false religions, man. Why?
Salakia,
go ahead, please.
Salakia, if I may, right? Like, I'm not sure everybody's familiar with what even goes on in these Buddhist temples, right? But there was a movie that Eddie Murphy did a long time ago called Golden Child, right? Where the process of choosing a new Dalai Lama, right? The monks, after this man dies, right, or gives up the ghost or unalived, however you want to say it, right? After he's gone, they're gonna wait and take about 4 years to find a new Dalai Lama, right? Which could be it could be a 14-year-old boy, it could be a 6-year-old boy. They're gonna wait some time and then say the spirit of the old Dalai Lama is now in the new Dalai Lama. And if the boy is 5 years old, they're gonna take that boy, they're gonna wait, do some tests to see. One of the tests is like they put the old Dalai Lama's artifacts or his the things that he had that he cherished, right, in front of the boy and tell him to choose. He's going to choose which ones, and they're going to say, okay, yeah, he chose the ones that the old Dalai Lama liked, so he's the new Dalai Lama. They're going to take that boy and bring him into the temple at 5 years old. Could be 6 years old. Could be 7 years old. You're seeing this Dalai Lama kissing young boys or kissing a young boy, right? What else is happening in these temples? What are the Dalai Lama or are the monks doing to the children?
Well, you understand, that's a good question, you understand, but you understand, and we know what's happening in there. You understand? We know what's happening in there, but before that, you understand, let me just, you understand, talk about this video, you understand? You see, you understand, like it's crazy. You see this guy, you understand, like just kissing the little boy on the lips, right? Just like he was a woman. Just like you have the Arabs, you understand, the Arabs with the young boy as well. You understand, batchy boys or whatnot they call them. Then after that, you say, well, suck my tongue. How can this is in front of all the people, you understand, that's in the over there. If he could do this in front of everybody, you understand, while they're present. Not only like the leaders that's next to him are involved in the same activities, but what is it doing in, you understand, behind the camera?
Right.
What is it doing, you understand, like, you understand, but in his own private room?
Right.
That's the question we need to ask. There should have been, you understand, an investigation from there on the Dalai Lama. You're gonna find out he's not, you understand, as holy as you claim he is. There's nothing holy about the Dalai Lama. He's just another sexual, you understand, sexual deviant.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
If I may, right? Not to put on my silver hat, right? You know they say when you go too much into the conspiracies, you might as well put on a tinfoil hat, right? Well, we might have a tinfoil hat moment because they said Jeff Epstein had an island where he was trafficking young children, right? Now, Salakia Adiyar, you're saying they need to do an investigation. I fit Salakia. How am I going to say this? Listen, them devils might already know. They might all be in on it, right? Especially with how these devils work. We've seen in Canada, the Canadian government co-signed the Catholic Church kidnapping Native American children and abusing them. We're hearing, Salakia, Officer Adiyar, you told me that priests, I believe in the province you're from, aren't allowed to be alone with children, right? Meaning the Catholic priest, right? The Catholic Church knows about over 100 priests Catholic priests who've been molesting children.
Right.
So like they might already know, and they just don't care because they're all in it together.
It might be one of the Jeffrey Epstein clients as well. So,
right.
It might be one of the clients as well. I wouldn't be shocked, you understand, when the news come out, and it will come out, you understand, eventually. You understand? It might be one of the clients as well.
Right. He might have taught Jeffrey Epstein how to cut a bonsai tree, Salakia.
God. So you understand? This is what happened. But we take these people, you understand, with such high esteem. And the thing I want to ask also, like, Why is it like you understand that these things are happening, you understand, in this other religion, these you understand, these false religion and whatnot, you understand, and we don't do it at I.S.U.P.K. Why is it there? You understand? They do these things. Why is it? Anybody? Why is it that they do these things?
Salaki, I don't want.
You go ahead.
Salaki, I don't. Okay, what's the question again?
Why is it that you're saying these religion, you're saying all these religion, they are not allowed, but they do these things? Why?
Salaki, sir. Because they're not following the laws of God.
You're right on it. You understand? You're right on it. And the answer I was looking for, you're saying, is because they don't follow laws. They don't have no laws. They don't have no laws. What is the law of a conduct bump towards a child? That's none. What is the law of the Catholic Church towards you understand like those little boys? There's none.
Right.
Even though they hold the Bible, they have the Bible in their hand. There's none. They don't follow the Bible. What is the law for the Christian preacher? You understand? That's having sex with another man's wife. Telling you understand, he's going out to her house for prayer while the man is not there. She's there by himself. She's there by herself. You understand? He's going to pray for her. Why they do these things? Because they don't follow the law. There's no law. There's no rule of conduct for his religion, man. The only rule of conduct, you understand, that keeps the society, you understand, intact, that keeps the society, you understand, good to be run, is only found in the Bible. And there's only one place where you find out, you understand, follows the Bible. That's the I.S.U.P.K on the coming in Journal YAHANNA. Nowhere else. Understand? I could leave my children and my wife with Officer Zabaja, Officer Shai1, and I know that, you understand, nothing will happen to them.
Right.
You understand? I could do like 5 years away, and you understand? They live, you understand, next in the same house, nothing will happen. Because these men, you understand, have a rule of conduct that they, you understand, they have to abide by. The Dalai Lama doesn't have no rule of conduct. There's no rule of conduct that say, well, you know what? You got to fight, you understand, your flesh. He's going to do what he wants to do. The same as a Christian preacher. The same as a Catholic priest. You understand? Also, Baja, you asked a question earlier, right? Why, you understand? Like, what happens in the Buddhist temple? All right, Officer Zabaja, you can put that down. You can take off that says we seen that. You understand? And the rest part of the video is, and you see like the Dalai Lamas took out his tongue, and you understand, for the child to, you understand, come sucking. But that would be porno, like, you understand, child is porno, you understand, pedophilia that we showing. We don't want to show that. You understand? So let me show you what happens in the Buddhist
concert. It's, if I may, we're just seeing like now even when the Dalai Lama, like, they wrote some statement and said he apologized and said it was bad, but it's like he's letting the world know, like, this is what we're about, right? The whole Zen and Tai Chi, and we're monks and we practice a little bit of fighting, but we're not violent, and cut some whatever they do, right? That they've been portraying to the world. That's not it. That's not it at all. What that picture that we just seen, that's exactly what the Buddhist priests are about, or the Buddhist monks. Salakia.
Yeah, and I have an article for you. You understand? I'm not gonna read you out the article, but you understand, just to show y'all something. Anybody, you understand? Y'all could see my screen?
Come on, sir.
Good night.
You understand? This is what I do in the Buddhist temple, man. Linked sex tapes shows Buddhist monk taking part in drug-fueled gay orgy at a temple in Taiwan. This is what happened in the Buddhist temple. Meanwhile, people, you understand, think they're so, you understand, spiritual. They're so almighty, like, you understand, they can't even, you understand, they won't break an egg because it's part of life. Understand? They're so holy, you understand? They're not gonna, you understand, bust a grape. because it is part of your vegetation. The spirit behind the grape, you understand? I have to ask the grape the permission, you understand? So I could bust it, you understand? I could eat it. You know this is this is what they do in the table, man. You understand?
Salakia.
Reese, go ahead.
That is the dark side of the yin yang. Good night. Good
I
night.
mean, this is Akim. Y'all gonna be shocked tonight. I got the receipts. I got the receipts, Akim. You understand? I got the receipts. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. Let me tell you.
Shalom. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Shalom, sir. Yeah, Washington Shah Rakatham. Rakatham.
Shalom, I
yes,
want y'all to show the thought.
yes, going on. I can't use my camera right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I'm saying.
I can't use my camera right now, but this is Priest Officer 5000 a bun. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Kind of
Come,
rough.
Come
come.
on, please.
I was just wanting to get on here, jump on here real quick and say Thwada to you brothers, all of you tuned in, and those of you that aren't tuned in, aren't teaching the class but are tuned in right now, for tuning in, for liking and sharing. It's I.S.U.P.K Canada class. I want to specifically say Thwada to you brothers that have been teaching the class diligently, faithfully, week in and week out. And I want you to understand something, that this will bear fruit. You understand? This will absolutely bear fruit all throughout the nation of Canada. As all of you well know, the weather is breaking, which means you're going to get used to seeing me up in the North Country frequently. You understand? Our first trip, we're going to stop by Toronto, Ontario. I'll let you know if that changes, but our first trip is going to be Toronto, Ontario in May. It's going to be mid to late May, second or third week of the month. Every second or third week of the month, I plan on coming to Canada. I plan on coming to Canada to have camp, to have class, and get on whatever podcast forum we can get on to get the truth pushed throughout this entire country. Like, our people need us, man. Our people need us, and really, quite honestly, this world needs us. You know what I mean? In this, a lot of things are getting ready to crumble. This economic system is getting ready to crumble. Russia, China, India are making big moves to try and replace the dollar. When they replace the dollar, the CAD is going to be worthless as well. It's going to be garbage as well. And you see here, right in front of you, that these so-called religious leaders that were venerated for having such righteous and holy discipline and self-control and piety are being shown to be just as disgusting and lustful as the
Yeah.
people to help. But this isn't so with us in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We work out our problems and we seek and work daily to be perfect. All
Right.
right. Work daily to be perfect. I wanted to touch on this as well with the sex tape. Did you Audio? Did you get to the Dalai Lama that was tongue kissing the boy? Told him to stick it out. Let me suck on it. Let me nibble on it.
Yeah, come on, sir. We just understand play the video. We didn't want to play everything, but we just gotta have that done, sir.
Yeah, it's you. Okay, that's right. Give me the scripture on to not let your seed pass through the fire unto Molech. If you are a so-called Negro First Nation or Latino, and you have heard us, Audio you
Salakia. So you're breaking up.
put your devices on mute. I hear beeping. Can you hear me now?
Come, come.
Okay. So these, like I said before, these religious leaders are being shown to be truthfully disgusting pigs, man. And if you are Black, First Nation, or Latino, so-called, and you've heard us speak, yet you continued to take your children to church. You went ahead last week to Easter Sunday. You went ahead to church to have your children chase around bunny rabbit eggs, which doesn't occur in real life, Akim. Bunnies do not lay eggs. But you turn around and you call you call us a quote unquote hate group. You call us a sect of maniacs. Then truly you are the maniac. And this world normalizes this type of garbage. Like it's well known that the Catholic Church molests children, so much so that you can just talk about it openly, and they don't do anything about it. You know what I mean? There's little to no backlash about it, and it's so pervasive that they hardly even talk about it anymore. You know, They hardly even talk about it anymore. The Catholic Church has done such a good job molesting children that now many of them believe that they were born that way, or are lying to themselves and saying that they were born that way. But this is where the LGBTQ trans community comes from. This stuff right here, this title, okay, and from the Dalai Lama. Brothers, kissing him the way you kiss a woman, kissing him with and listen, he's requesting sugar. You know, a lot of their cultures are are LGBTQ friendly, including the Arabs culture. But I mean, he's asking for more sugar, I think, than you'd ask your rib. That was fast and loose out there in the open, to the point that he had to issue an apology, meaning this, he knew he was wrong or that it was a bad look. But that's that right there, and this article here, this is how you have so many people across the world identifying or alleging to identify with LGBT, and those that don't directly partake in those acts, they side with it. They side with it. Reading the scripture on letting your children pass through the fire to Molech.
Come on, I have it right here. This is Leviticus 18 and 21. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech.
Right, you're not allowed to do that, man. You're not allowed to let your children be burned, be scarred. You've heard that term before. I can be scarred for life in your pursuit of worshiping a God that hasn't done anything for you. The Catholic Church, with all their money, could make a large dent in world hunger. Like we've mentioned before in the stream, the Catholic Church is in control of up to $10 trillion in assets, more than Apple and Microsoft combined. They can make a huge dent in this problem of poverty and world hunger, etc. They don't. They really don't, to the level that they could. If you allow your children to go to those masses, attend those cathedrals, you're letting them be burned in your pursuit of worshiping a God that you just have been worshiping your entire life. It's 2023, Akim. Everybody's open to new gender identities. Everyone's open to new ways of sex. Sex has just become, what is it? Who is it? Everyone's open to, women becoming men, which is what they're trying to do too. I'm going to talk about that as well, make a little tape about it. But I mean, if you are an actual woman, meaning you were born with the organs of a woman, etc., then they've relegated you really to two places. And it's really sad because women don't see it, not seeing it until it's too late. They relegated you to amateur pornography, OnlyFans, or they've relegated you to this myth of you being a bad bee, or whatever the hell that means, and being a major contributor or whatever, doing the things that a man can do. But that's pretty much it. They're moving the so-called oppressor in to take over, the role or job of being a woman. A lot of things are changing. A lot of things are quote unquote in flux. My big question is this: why is no one giving what we have to say an ear? Why isn't this entering? Why isn't this entering the public sphere of consciousness? But it will, Akim. Someone get me the scripture where it says, "You shall go into the gates of the nobles." That's going to happen this summer, man. This summer, Canada is going to have to acknowledge that what the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has been saying, though they tried to stop it. I've got some border stories, brother, that would make what's that show? Anybody ever watch the show Locked Up Abroad?
Nah, sir.
Okay, there's a show called Locked Up Abroad where these fools are going across to like Colombia and stuff, and mostly doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, like trying to ship coke or move drugs. But the stories are crazy of them being locked up. They don't know if they'll be able to get back home or whatever. I mean, I've got some border stories, brother, that it really should be on TV with the level of intensity that they have applied to try and stop us from coming to speak there in Canada. So you tried to stop it at the highest levels, Border Patrol. You tried to stop it with your religious institutions, but IBRIS and every Christian group that comes out to speak when we speak. You tried to stop it. But this summer, Canada, the nobles of Canada, you are going to have to acknowledge, you're going to see that what the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has been saying is true and will hold true here until the king returns. Okay? Until the king returns. And this Buddhist monk This Buddhist monk will be picking rice, growing rice. Is where he should be. He shouldn't be in charge of people. Okay,
Right.
he control himself with all that Chinese discipline, all that chi. He can't stop his chi from going into another man's backside, man. These people shouldn't be in charge, man. This, quite frankly, should piss you off.
Right.
You're construction. You're working construction, or you're breaking your back on up there in Canada, literally getting hurt on the goddamn job. These fools looked at as the rulers and masters of the universe are having orgies, man. Are garbage. And this Buddhist monk is garbage, and the Dalai Lama is garbage too. Don't let your children go to these churches to be destroyed, man. Don't
Right.
let them be destroyed, Canada, First Nations, okay? Negroes, Latinos, West Indians, you too. I saw you up there in church in Toronto on Easter Sunday with bunny rabbit ears on. I see you. You're a grown goddamn adult. You from the islands. I don't even know if they have bunnies on those goddamn islands. Not the ones they have up here. I don't have that stuff up here or down there. Of course, they probably do have some sort of hair, but you get my point. I don't have that shit down there. That stuff down there. Excuse my language. And there you were, grown ass woman, grown ass man, running around looking for chocolate eggs. It's a damn shame. Canada needs to recognize, man. Canada needs to recognize that the foremost biblical scholars on this earth are sitting right here on this show. They had planned to bring. I don't know if you all saw that last year too. When we went to Toronto, the Pope was supposed to come down that same week. That same week, the
Right.
benign, those posts about us. The Pope was supposed to come down, but they canceled his trip. They canceled his trip. Okay, because his minions would have been rocking around Toronto. It would have been checked and cut asunder in the spirit by the truth, by Zabajit, Shariwan, Adiyar, and others. You get my point? Take me to the other scripture I asked for in the gates of the nobles.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 13 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
So that's what we did. We lifted up a banner in the high mountain. The high mountain being the strong government. You're in a nation, Canada. Canada goes as an attendee in the G20. I believe it's still a G8 or G20 summit. Meaning what? They are a government that is strong and is powerful. That's that high mountain. Okay, or literally a high mountain, a high place. You're in Dundas Square. In Canada, there is no busier downtown area than Dundas Square, Toronto. That's what you all are doing. This man Isaiah was alive 3,000 years ago and prophesied this, and here you are living it out. What he wrote down thousands of years ago and had to protect under the threat of death. Read on.
Exalt the voice unto them.
Exalt the voice unto them. You're exalting the voice, raising the voice unto them. Why are you yelling on the corner? Why are you yelling? Why do you have that microphone? God told us to have that microphone. If you have a problem, take it up with God, man. Take it up with the one you call God, the Most High. Exalt the voice. And Isaiah 58. Read on.
Shake the hand.
Shake the hand. You shake the hand like you're disciplining a child, telling them, no, do that, do this. You shake the hand at them. You're talking to your woman is being silly or something, and you have to correct her, say things to her to keep her head on straight. You shake the hand. What's going on here? These men are rebuking the people that they're speaking to. And that's what we're going to do in Canada. We're going to shake the hand in Toronto and in Montreal. Read on.
That they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Meaning this. We're going to rebuke, check, and speak the truth. And they're going to go to the gates of the nobles. They did that last year, trying to get Benai Brit to stop us from coming in. They're going to do. Yeah, they're going to go to Benai Brit. I think Toronto's a very Catholic city. Montreal, you could forget about it. They've got the largest cathedral here in North America. I think the second largest in the world. They're going to run to their Catholic leaders. They're going to start saying, help, help. There's men organized. That's another thing too. They've moved real women to essentially amateur pornography with OnlyFans, and men they just want you to just shoot each other and kill each other. That's all this is. Like again, I'm trying to figure out how everything we say gets taken down. But a Negro with looking like Sideshow Bob, a Negro looking like Sideshow Bob can make a video with every gun under the sun and talk about murder and death, unaliving people, and that's not considered hate speech. They're going to continue to try and get us shut down. They're going to run into the gates of the nobles this summer, man. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Read on.
Verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones.
I sanctify ones. You're the sanctified ones. You're the ones that have been cleansed. There's millions and millions of Negroes sparking up blunts, stuffing their face with pork, sleeping with the nastiest ogres you can find in Canada, like chromas, etc. But he chose you to cleanse you. You get my point? You're the sanctified ones. Read on.
I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger.
He called his mighty ones for his anger. He called his sanctified ones and his mighty ones. Who's mighty ones? Warriors. That's what all of you are. Right now, we are warriors for bringing life, but soon the Lord will call warriors for executing judgment. Drop that. Take me to Romans. I want Romans 1:26 on this Dalai Lama thing too. Dalai Lama tongue kissing the boy, like the Dalai Lama. You know, I used to say, I've been saying recently in camp that the Pope is the vicar of the LGBTQ. The Dalai Lama is his spiritual advocate or his second in command of the LGBTQ community. All right. Take me to Romans 1:26. Read it when you have it. And if I could sidebar real quick too, hold that with the Isaiah 13 and 2-3. You know, you're going into the gates of the nobles out here. People are watching us. So the garments, the shoes, the shirts, the pants, ironed, pressed, stain free. Let's be professional this summer. I want everybody looking crisp, including myself, everyone looking crisp, everyone looking sharp, everyone prepared, ready to go, everybody on time, because we are now this summer on. We're going to be scrutinized at the highest levels. We're going to be scrutinized at the highest levels. So what you say and another thing includes me as well. What you say in these classes, what you say in these classes, make sure you're doing it at home. That's all I'm going to say. Sisters tuning in, you greeting us, make sure when you hear these classes, you're doing it at home. Because this summer, brothers, we're going up.
Let's get it.
Right.
I'll be watching us from here on out. All right. So keep everything crisp, keep everything sharp, keep your garments clean, literally at camp and at home. All right. There's that. I'll send out the list again of dates, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. Let me get that last scripture on the Dalai Lama, and I'll pass it back to you all.
Khan. Romans 1:26. For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affections.
Whose cause God gave them up to vile affections? For what cause? For the cause of changing the truth of God into a lie. They changed the truth into a lie. Buddhism did it too. They all have some story that's similar to the story of the one the world calls Christ. They've all borrowed from the Hebrews. They've all borrowed from the Bible and borrowed from our oral traditions, if you will, meaning the stories that we told, before the Bible was literally written and scribed. They've all done that, but they changed it into a lie. Because of that, God gave them up to vile affections. It's a vile affection to be. And listen, you the Dalai Lama, you can have all those. What do they got over there? Thai. You got the Burmese women. They Lord be with them. But that's what that's the Lord gave them in life. You have the Chinese women, Oriental or Asian. I'm gonna say Oriental. We're gonna get canceled. Who cares? Oriental women. I'm just gonna say it like that. All of them. He chose to have a boy sit on his damn lap and kiss him. You get my point? Like, these people are vile. They have vile affections. They have vile affections, and what they also don't talk about, Aki, is in some cases men reach that level of depravity because they have just gone through so many loose women, so many, so many horizontal employees, so many ceiling experts. You know what I mean? They're ceiling experts because they look at ceilings a lot because they're on their backs. These women, ceiling experts, horizontal employees, ladies of the evening. They've gone through so many that it doesn't excite them anymore. You get my point, which is also another thing about this whole the red pill movement with you gotta the whole idea you gotta tear through chicks, you gotta just plow women to figure out, I don't know, to learn women, which doesn't make any sense because you can call a woman up to have sex with you like you can get an order of pizza now. Does that mean I know how to make a damn pizza? No.
Right.
Know anything about pizza? No. But they're pushing this because, I mean, quite honestly, you can make the argument that it's just okay. Just running through women is like it's the same lifestyle as the LGBTQ. It's just you just dealing with women instead of men. Like that whole life, that whole just having new partners every week. That's from the LGBTQ community, but they replace it with women, and so you just running through women, and you're not even adding nothing to their life. You know what I mean? You're not giving them guidance. You're not telling them about you shouldn't do this, you should do that. You're not imposing your will on them, so to speak, in a positive way. It's just you're a rainbow man, damn near. You know. So they change the truth of God into a lie, and they have vile affections dealing with the type of women they're dealing with. What type of women do I mean? Loose women. You know what I mean? There's a woman you can take seriously, even a woman that's not the truth. You can, she's not the truth or whatever, but you can make her yours. And then there's a woman that she's just you might have her for a day, a week. You don't know what her relationship status is, and she's not going to tell you. Everyone should be able to see that. If not, we have counsel 25/8. So text me, call me, whatever. But the Dalai Lama and the Pope, they're at fault for this, man. They're at fault for every boy or girl that's confused and it's going to have life-changing surgery. Think about it. Children aren't supposed to be able to decide who they can have sex with, but they can decide what sexuality they are. Like it doesn't make any damn sense. They can decide to change their body. It's insane, man. And we're going to speak truth to power on it, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. So get everything ready. Get your clothes on. Keep your clothes clean at camp and outside of camp. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all very, very shortly. That's my time. I want to hop on and say something. I appreciate you all teaching the class. Continue to teach the class, and let's keep those short videos up too to funnel people into these classes. All right. That's my time. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Shabbat. Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Yahweh Shema Shabbat.
Let's clap it up for us, 5,000 a bond. Guys, man, my brother. You understand? Let's get it, man. You understand? But as also Abban said, you understand? Like, we will be, you understand, all over Canada, you understand? We'll, especially Toronto and Montreal, you understand, for this year, we're gonna see if we could go outside of those zones, you understand, and expand more, you understand. And if you see any district in your city, like you understand, I'm pretty much, you understand, gonna try to, you understand, like visit or check out, you understand, like Quebec. If we could have, you understand, classes in Quebec, report it to Officer Abana as well. I say if we could have, I say if I could spend one weekend in Quebec and see if you understand, if we are needed. Well, we are needed everywhere, but if there's, you understand, like a good place where we could be and everything in Quebec. All right. So let's check that out. What I would also like to do is like go to Ontario, you understand, Justin Trudeau place, you understand, where the politicians at and everything. I would like to understand to crash over there. Let's check up, you understand, on these zones as well, all right? Like this, you understand, we could expand this truth as well, all right, okay?
Constantly. And Salaki, if I may, to add on to what Officer Aban was saying, because he said something heavy in the later portion of when he was talking about basically like that red pill manosphere, right? Like that is it's a perfect example of false leadership. Like that whole red pill movement where they're talking about passport bros who are basically men. Like the general said it best. These brothers aren't, they're not going for the nurses of the island. They're basically going for the same women that they don't like in their homelands, but are basically going for those women. And it's easy to get those women because those women recognize those men as they have money, they're gonna give me a better life, right? And then lastly, what I'd like to say is like false leadership, especially with that manosphere. Like there was an incident in the whole manosphere, which we'll probably talk about on one of the podcasts eventually, right? There was a Edomite woman that the black manosphere propped up to basically she's basically telling black women about how to keep a black man, right? And black men propped her up, and then she brought some racists on the show, some basically a neo-Nazi, and all the black people started to lose their minds, right? But she has Hamites that work for her, right? That are basically telling the black people like, "Yo, you shouldn't be losing your mind." And then you have a couple other, you could call them Israelites, right? Who are basically trying to take up for her too. So it's basically showing you like there's a bunch of false leadership, and if you're not learning from the feet of a priest in the UPK, listen, you're ultimately setting yourself up for failure, right? Because the men above us, they've been talking about what's gonna happen in these last days. Like I was on Facebook, right? I'm not sure if you see this comment, but someone's trying to tell a brother who, like, you already know what the argument is. The oppressor is not Edom, right? So I'm like, all right. So I asked the person, are we in the last days? They said, I don't know. So I said, how the F are you trying to teach brothers and sisters who Edom is if you can't even tell if we're in the last days or not? Right? And it's just to show you everybody wants to be a leader and they have no right to be trying to lead the children of Israel. And if you haven't noticed over the last few years or the last 50 years, anybody who tries to lead the children of Israel, if it's not of the Lord, you're getting put to death. And it's going to happen on camera, Salakia.
And not only that, like, you know what I'm saying, that there's no advancement, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing that changed also for our situation, for all the
Right.
so-called, you know what I'm saying, the only change we see, like, you know what I'm saying, that what brothers take, you know what I'm saying, are out of drug, you know what I'm saying, brothers are not pimps no more, sisters, you know what I'm saying, are not, you know what I'm saying, like, selling the body and giving the body to all, you know what I'm saying, having, you know what I'm saying, like, trend running on them, it's only in the UPK. You understand?
Right.
It's the only place, you understand, where you see real change. You understand? Meanwhile, those Buddhist priests, you understand, those other nations, you understand, they doing all type of sexual deviancy, you understand? There's another thing that, you understand, like, I can top up what else is 5,000 a bond say, you understand? But there's only one thing, you understand, like, to answer your question, because I was still on your question, you understand, why, you understand, like, why these things happen, you understand, like, with the Buddhists and everything. I just want to leave y'all with this, all right? Hey, y'all can see my screen?
Salakia, it's going to pop up in a second.
Oh, cancer.
Okay. Thai monk fails drug test, leaving temple empty.
Right. I mean, a small Buddhist temple in Thailand has been left out without any monks after they were all dismissed for failing drug tests, local officials have said. The entire temple. That's not going to be the one.
Oh, Salakia.
Come.
Salakia. I thought it meant the temple's empty because he smoked everything in the temple. So sold it. Trying to get
all the Buddhist monks, you understand, they were high. You understand, they were high on Molly. They were high on speed. You understand, methamphetamines, whatever. You understand, that's how you say it. Like meth, you understand? Y'all get
Methamphetamines.
methamphetamines, yes, the water priest. You understand? They were all high on it. You understand? So they couldn't be preached no more. You understand? That's what happens. You understand? There's a bunch of articles that I have on the Buddhist temple, Buddhist monk. You understand what they do? You understand? There's an article. You understand that I have, like, you understand where they, just like you see the Dalai Lama, they're sending children. You understand to you understand to other people, man, people. You understand? Not conspiracy theory. You understand? But what actually happened is it is in the news in their own world. You understand? Their own nation. You understand? So there's a lot of things that's happening. You understand behind the scene that we don't see yet. They are looked up. You understand? Looked up like you understand, like also Abban was saying, like you understand with the Chinese discipline, Asian discipline. With you understand? So high greatness and everything. Meanwhile, they are all drug. You understand? Drug addict and sexual deviants. Understand? Just like your Christian preacher, just like your Catholic church, but us in the UPK, we're gonna make sure that our people, you understand, get off of drugs. We're gonna make sure you understand our people, you understand, change their life. Like this, we could be ready for our King. You understand, for the King of Kings, and Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Understand? That being said, any of you I can wanted to say something?
So
The two of us is about it.
So Laki, what was your question?
Nah, you want us to add something up? I'm about to close the class.
La, just listen. You just like the title of this class. You gotta beware of false leaders, right? Just because the person says they're spiritual or they they have the answers, right? You don't want to just go along with it. Just don't go along to go along. Just don't get along to go along, right? You want to test it. You want to find out if this is the right place. Find out
right.
and question things, right? Never feel that it's a bad thing to question. Listen, there's places where you can't even question. There's churches where you can't even raise a hand to be like, Pastor, what does that verse mean? The pastor reads basically one line out of the Bible, closes it, and talks for 6 hours, right? And starts dancing, right? Just because someone says Shalom King doesn't mean that person has the truth.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
Messiah in Christ, Messiah in Christ. Understand? And to what, you understand, for everybody that's been in the chat, you understand? Hopefully y'all get, you understand, more comments, more questions on the chat as well. Sister Janice Bear, Shalom, Sister Yashima Tabashim Rashad, no, Sister Nawal, Shalom, Sister Yashima Tabashim Rashad, Sister, so like your brother, Kahayala, Shalom, Shalom, brother Yahweh Shukta, understand? And everybody else, you understand, that's watching us, you understand, that's been there with us, rolling with us. Don't forget the I.S.U.P.K, you understand? No Cowards Canada, you understand, on YouTube. I.S.U.P.K Quebec, you understand, on YouTube. We are live, we are ready to go, you understand, rocking, you understand, in the Canada as well, you understand? So, one thing that you could do is like these classes and share these classes, you understand? With every so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Indian that you know. Might be at your slavery, might be, you understand, like at your school, you understand? Share these classes with them, you understand? They speak French, they speak English. Share these classes like this, you understand? We could make, you understand, everybody, you understand, be aware of this truth, be aware of who they are, and like this, we could change this life, and we could, you understand, get ready for, you understand, for this end. Because just like also Abundant saying, a lot of things is about to be in play, you understand? You understand? In Montreal, you understand, in Quebec, we're seeing, you understand, like a flesh-eating disease that's coming up right now. You understand? So make sure you understand you're on the right side, man. Make sure you understand you live that life of sin alone, and you understand, let's come follow the Most High for once. Then like this, we'll be able to rule the world. All right. That being said, you understand, I'm officer and priest, you understand, out of your 1,000 out of y'all with the I.S.U.P.K on the coming to General Yahanna. You understand? Shalom to all the black, so-called black, Hispanic, Native Indian, all my brothers, Shalom, Yahweh Shabbat Shabbat, all the sisters, Shalom, Yahweh Shabbat Shabbat Shai. You understand? I pass the class, you understand, to officer. I think Officer Shai, one of these, is it right now? I pass it back to I.S.U.P.K Toronto, all right? You got it, priest?
Con, I got it, no sweat.
Stop.
So, okay, let me get it right. 1 second.
This is the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 verses 8 to 10. Slovakia, Ma'ashra, which means 10th in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. The next up and coming holy convocation is Slovakia. Will be the Feast of First Fruits. I'm going to get the date for you. One moment. Slovakia, give me a moment so I can get the date. The Feast of First Fruits will be Monday, May 9th, 2023. Right? You can find that in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, verses 10 to 22. Reminder for Akim and Aqua, if you're in a physical school, check the bulletin board in the hallway. If not, check in with your camp leaders, check any social medias and all the websites for up and coming information on any events. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K Shabbat. I.S.U.P.K Barak. Yahawanna, which means hands down. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, sar and face the sisters. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters if you have any in your presence. Men of Israel, I.S.U.P.K Shabbat. I.S.U.P.K Barak. Yahawanna. Men of Israel, Yahawanna. Class dismissed.